Hey everyone! So today we're going to be looking at a pretty polarizing bassist. Some people love his unique and weird music, and then for other people it's just completely unlistenable. I'm talking about Les Claypool. Les Claypool is probably best known for being the bassist and frontman of the experimental funk metal band Primus. Without a doubt, they're one of the weirdest and most unique and original bands you'll ever hear. They write songs with titles like Shake Hands with Beef and Lacquer Head and My Name is Mud, and Les usually plays a 6-string fretless bass that's often deliberately out of tune. None of this really sounds like a recipe for commercial success, but they do have a pretty huge cult following, so in this video we're going to watch some Primus clips and try and figure out what it is about their style, and in particular Les Claypool's bass lines, that works so well. And then as always, at the end of the video we'll see if I can play one of Les Claypool's hardest bass lines. Okay, so we've only watched a few seconds of one clip and we already have a pretty weird bass line. It sounds so weird because Les is using really dissonant intervals, mostly the tritone or flat fifth. The chord he's outlining the most is a D flat 5 with no third, which makes it really hard to know what key we're in. The phrase kind of resolves on a high D flat, which makes you think, okay, maybe the song is in D flat, major or minor, but then he goes and plays a G flat 5 chord, which has no place in D flat, so it's probably just best to think of this song as having no key. And then the fact that Les is playing this on a fretless and just not really paying too much attention to the intonation just makes it even weirder. It's so fast and sporadic, and again, we have no idea what key we're in. Here's how it sounds if you play it slowly. So we're using all of these notes. And there's no key, at least in Western music, that uses all of those notes, so we're basically just using the chromatic scale at this point. On top of that, Les is using a pretty nasally tone that would usually get its fair share of hate comments if you or I posted a solo like that on YouTube. But Les just completely leans in and plays a chromatic slap bass line with a nasally tone, a weird hat, and completely unhinged vocals. By the way, if you enjoy these breakdowns of well-known bass masters but you want to go even deeper, I do have a course called Mastering the Masters where I break down the techniques and secrets of well-known legendary bassists like Victor Wooten, Cliff Burton, and Marcus Miller. Right now you can get half off the course if you just make sure to tap the link below before midnight on December 25th.
Get
It's everything together.
3 old Primus songs.
Sometimes bold, sometimes lonely. People faced and rather homely. Wasn't much for socializing, the TV kept them mesmerized.
Alright, so this one is almost entirely ghost notes, which is pretty unusual for a bass line. If you're wondering how he gets these really fast ghost notes, he's basically just repeating a pattern that goes slap, left hand slap, pop, left hand slap. And he just does that over and over again. There is one crazy fast part later in the song where he does triplets, and I don't think he actually does any double thumbing, but I find it easier if I do double thumbing. Other than that, he basically just throws in these few notes every now and then. And that's the whole verse bass line. One really interesting moment in Primus history was when they covered part of Metallica's Master of Puppets. Les plays the main guitar riffs on slap bass and it sounds pretty awesome. This song actually lends itself surprisingly well to being slapped. So Les slaps all of the lower notes but pops all of the higher notes, which means that it actually falls under your fingers a bit more easily than you might expect. It's still pretty difficult just because of how fast it is, but with enough practice, it's doable. But now it's time to see if I can play the whole thing. Make sure to tap the like button if you've enjoyed this video and leave a comment letting me know which bass players or bass lines I should break down next. There's still one question, which is how did Primus get so popular? Even Primus fans themselves say Primus sucks as a way of showing that they're actually a fan of the band. Well, there are a few reasons, but I think it mostly just comes down to the fact that they're completely unafraid to be their own unique, weird selves. When you watch Les and the rest of the band on stage, you can tell that there's absolutely no hesitation or self-consciousness. He just completely leans in and just does all of his weird dissonant bass lines, wears his crazy outfits, and does all of his strange dance moves. It's really refreshing to see someone who isn't self-conscious and trying to fit in all the time, and I think a lot of people, including me, find that pretty inspiring. Most of us are afraid of doing anything too far outside of what's considered normal, and so we might change ourselves to hopefully fit in with everyone else. We hope that by doing this we'll make more friends or be more successful, but in doing so, sometimes we lose our individuality. Clearly, Les doesn't care about fitting in at all, at least when it comes to his music and his live performances. We all know that this takes a lot of bravery, so we find it pretty inspiring. And to be fair, not all of their songs are completely dissonant and weird. Shake Hands with Beef has an amazingly funky bass line, the same can be said for John the Fisherman, and they also wrote the theme song for South Park, which is pretty cool. So while many people might just find them too weird and different, if you're looking for a completely unique and original band, Primus are a prime example of a band that you should check out. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments if there are any other bass lines or solos that you want me to break down, and I'll see you in the next video.